Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, doston, assalamu alaikum. So it's another beautiful day in Lahore. Today is 18th of June 2025. Uh, most of the science, I have been discussing in these vlogs are an outcome of my understanding of physics that I have able to gain through YouTube videos, documentaries, lectures of expert physics professors, or this um, Star Talk vlog of Neil deGrasse Tyson. But as well as I have incorporate some of my fascinating dreams that I had. After once in a while I would have, and I would remember it if I would remember it. So today I will be talking about Tesseract. It's an amazing story, how I will tell you. But have you seen, Cube, these movies, this Chinese version and this Hollywood version? I mean, this confusion, cognitive confusion of being trapped in a box, and then, traveling boxes, this large cube where if you would be lucky to come out alive, you would become out quite insane. There is so many movies, and these scarecrow movies, which would be kind of a fiction, come action, come thriller, come horror movies. But yes, something has changed. Not only that I went to Europe and did complete my PhD, but while I was doing that, smartphone has arrived, mobile applications have arrived, like social media has arrived, like YouTube, X, and it's a new digital world that has arrived, within 2 decades. It's an interesting coincidence. And then Hollywood is making a Martian movie that is quite real, near to reality, where it's not really, the script is devoid of any horror story. Interstellar, yet again, a very scientific science fiction movie. So there must be some things of data coming out of abstract cognitive understanding and metaphysical philosophy that represents Hollywood, or a scientific community of the Western world, which also represent the emergence of all the technology firms, and which have contributed to the chip manufacturing, or the different kinds of technologies which would create a powerful digital world. So now let me start from Interstellar. Have you seen this? This is a concluding scene with Tesseract. That though needed a lot of energy, and so it was that placed near, it could only happen, this access to Tesseract, which is kind of a fifth dimensional access point to Matthew, the Hollywood star, who could then access Tesseract fifth dimensional, with a fifth dimensional capacity to see. It's kind of a boxes, but of course Tesseract is what it is, and it's not really boxes. It is they represent space and time horizons, which are isolated in seconds or minutes. And that's what it represents. It's not really, they are not defined by, this material physics, where you have really square boxes or triangular shaped boxes with certain material, which might be steel or which might be plastic. And it is the same thing, which is so represented in all the Western architecture emerging after Renaissance. So I have a very, one odd night I was sleeping, and then I find myself in some kind of a interesting script where I would be standing in a natural landscape with a quite good beautiful day outside. There was greenery, there were mountains, and I was standing with some young, of my age, students, female students, when I was doing a PhD. And most probably they were Asian, they were of subcontinent India, either Indian or Pakistani. And I spent like 5 minutes, but there was some script going on in my mind. You know how it happens, the dream, that you start dreaming where you understand the script, but it is not related to, it is only contextual to the dream, and you are trying to understand the dream. So as soon as I got the comfort zone, suddenly I could feel that, the same thing between, because I, quite attentively watched that scene of Tesseract showing to in Interstellar. Suddenly a Tesseract, but more simplified Tesseract, would appear in front of me. And then, uh, interestingly, uh, I would portal myself from the top. I could realize that wherever I have felt this comfort zone is one horizon, time and space horizon, and then other time and space horizon appear to me as if, you plan that, okay, after 2 days, after 3 days, you are gonna meet somebody else, another student, or maybe go to a conference and meet some other students, and suddenly a tesseract would appear in front of me, and then I would yet again find myself in another time and space horizon meeting somebody, again a yet young student of my age, of South Indian region, South Asian region, so maybe Pakistani or Indian. But as soon as I would appear in that time and space horizon, which could be considered as a box, I was suddenly, because I was as per the script, I felt that, okay, I was there. I'm supposed to be there, while standing in front of those female and male students. But then suddenly they looked at me. I looked at them as if, we understand the script. But then suddenly I realized that, there was some kind of technology. I couldn't believe my while I could feel that, oh, this is some kind of technology, and I know how to access not only Tesseract but use it as well. And suddenly, so I was very excited, and then I woke up, and it's a old dream. So I was, I said nothing ordinary. So, but then, just a couple of days ago, I watched it Interstellar movie again. They were so excited, this Tesseract scene, that Matthew would say that future generations would build it for them to then save the world, save the earth. And he was very excited, but it was a very complex Tesseract. It has so many dimensions, time and space horizon, but specific to his daughter's situation, where she would live in a house with Matthew before he went to this mission to save the planet, to find new habitable planets. And so they were all space and time horizon, multiple space and time horizons of the daughter living in that particular room, which was her room. And she was visiting there, and then Matthew helped her while outside, sitting outside the Tesseract, or placing himself outside the Tesseract in another star system, and then maybe another galaxy. Whereas in my case, I had a little bit more of a scientific exposure to Tesseract. Number one, that I used the Tesseract. I had access to Tesseract, and I used it to place myself into another time in space horizon. And most importantly, the Tesseract, which is shown in Interstellar, is all no source of light, nothing really to be sure of within from one. It is retained itself in it's the physics of this Tesseract created for one room, which is Matthew's daughter's room. Whereas what I would do had this experience was that it was sunlight. I used the Tesseract, whereas I started out in a natural landscape. There's a sunny day, and then porting myself using this Tesseract, which emerged to me like maybe 4x4 box Tesseract, or maybe 16x16 box Tesseract, and then would find myself into the bottom last box where there was a sunny day. But how did I know that it was a Tesseract? Because suddenly this the same frame which was shown in Interstellar. It appeared to me as if you are standing in front of a building, a large building with a lot of windows, and at the night especially, and there are no curtains, and all the lights are on for all the rooms. Then you can access it, but it is three-dimensional. That's the beauty of it. The dreams are three-dimensional. My access to Tesseract was three-dimensional, and I knew that I had access to Tesseract, but I have used it. But foundationally, it was natural landscape, daytime. Now imagine, I've already said, Tesseract does not follow certain material. It's as a reference to space and time horizons, most scientifically, that they